Hi everyone, Omeza here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking the second part of the tutorial to the next level. In the first part we've actually created the background and where we can actually switch from different background to another. As you can see, we have 4 backgrounds right here that we can actually switch to. Depends on the one we feel like using at a particular time. Now this is the key of this particular analytics we have right here. Is a crime analysis which we're going to actually start to create from the scratch, and this is the instruction. So when you download this workbook, you can take a look at what really happens here and what we are expected to do. So right now we have this particular feature right here which we would love to know how to create as well. So we're going to actually create all this where we actually have our slider hidden for us right here. Every single time we play slider, we have all this to actually change dynamically. So right now we're going to be taking care of the analysis right here. So let's see how we can actually create a butterfly chart just like what we have right here right now. So let's see in the next workbook. So here's the previous work we've done. So right now what we're here for right now is for we to actually start analyzing our data dynamically. So if you can see, we can switch from one team to another just like what we have in the previous one. So in the first video tutorial of this particular Excel dashboard, I've actually explained and actually show you from the scratch how we did this. So I'm gonna link you to that particular video to actually take a look at how we did it, so that you can actually create this in your own personal project as well. So now here is the data set we actually have. So now we have the ID of every participant in this survey. So we have the gender, and we have the city, we have the region, we have the age group that participated, and we have the opinion. So the opinion is that is it the bad government that is actually the cause of the increment of crime in the society, or the internet? So right now, if somebody actually if this person right here actually chose 1, which means is the bad government. So if it is 0, which means it is the internet. So we want to know which of it carries more weight, and actually that is exactly what we're about to do. Now we're going to add another column right here called results. So I'm going to call this one result. So right now under the results, so what I'm going to do is just to use if condition to actually get this done. So I'm going to say if this here is equal to 1, so which means it's going to be what? It's going to be bad government. So else if it is not 1, so whatever it is going to be actually the internet. So it's going to be the internet. So I'm going to actually close it and actually hit enter. So this is what it is. So all I need to do right now is for me to actually copy this down. So it's going to copy down right now. So we've just copied this down, which is very awesome. So we can see anywhere we have 0, we're going to have it as the internet. If we have 1, it's going to be bad government and all of that. So right now we can start analyzing our data to create our first chart. So our first chart is going to be something that like what we've seen right here. So you might have not seen this comparison chart before. So now you can see it will be very nice for we to actually compare this to this using this particular KPI we have right here. So let us see how we can create this particular butterfly chart that PK called it. So right now I'm gonna actually go back right here right now. I'm gonna actually hide this one away from here. So now going back to my data, I'm gonna click right here and go to the top and summarize my data before I actually have what I wanted. So right now I'm going to be using new sheet because I don't have an existing sheet open for this right now. I'm gonna actually leave it to new sheet. I'm gonna click OK. So now this is what we have right here. So our pivot table is ready. So what we need to do right now is for we to actually create the first pivot table right here. So what I'm going to do right now to create that is going to be taking my region down to the row level. So right now here are the regions we actually have, but we don't feel like using this particular grand total. So I'm going to actually click and remove it from here. So the next thing I don't really want to actually have is actually this row labels. So I'm going to want to have my region on top of it. So I'm going to do this. I'll click on this design and I'm going to click on this report layout, and from there I'm going to show in tabular form. So if I click back, this is what I have, and this is exactly what we want to actually have. So what if I actually zoom to actually help us with this more better? think this is somehow cool. So now we can see it better now if you're on mobile, so you can see it very much how what you're doing. So right now we want to know how many people in this particular Midwest are of the opinion that the government is X, Y, and Z and all of that. So we just want to actually see this, just like what we have right here. So right now we've just gotten this. So what we need to do right now is for we to actually, so we're going to get our result across right here right now to actually count how many people were like of the opinion of bad government and the internet. So right now here we go. Right, I'm going to actually have to remove this from here, so I don't need it. I'm gonna remove this and I'm cool with this. I'm gonna click on this and actually go and actually pick up my ID from here and take it to value level. So right now here is the result we've just gotten. So in the Midwest, this is the numbers of people who is actually they are of the opinion that the bad government is the cause of the increment of crime in society, and this is the one for the internet. But right now what we really want is for we to actually click on this and actually turn this into a percentage, because that is what we want to use to analyze this. So now exactly we've just gotten this, so we're going to have to click on Ctrl+1 to actually get the formatting we really want right now. So now I'm gonna say just 1 decimal. I think that is exactly what it is. So I'm gonna click on the same thing right here. I do the same thing to this. I think I'm cool. So right now the type of chart we want to create, the Excel environment right now will not allow us to do that. So what I'm going to do is for me to actually copy this away from here. I'm gonna actually copy this, and we're gonna see how we can now trick pivot table to actually let us create a kind of chart we really want to create. So right now I'm gonna actually paste it right here. But how do I paste this? Because every single time I place a filter, I want to actually have an effect over this. So I'm gonna actually paste this as a what, as a link. So now, which means what I'm doing right now is gonna be linked to what? Okay, I'm gonna actually close back right now. So all I need to do right now is not to select from the top, but select from here right now. So I'm going to Ctrl C, and I'm going to actually have to paste it right here. So if I right click, I'm going to actually paste as what, as link. So right now it's actually linked to this, and this one is linked to this, and this particular one is linked to this right now, which means if I place filter and it has some kind of effect on this, is going to actually affect this as well. So that is exactly what it is. So I'm going to actually copy, I'll actually use this format painter right here and actually make sure I give it this percentage. So now I'm going to actually do the same thing to this particular level right here. So now let's see what we can actually do to actually create the type of chart we want to actually have created. So the first thing I'm going to have right here is just for me to actually have this particular so we're going to be creating another header right here right now, so which is this. So what we've done, I'm just going to expand it to actually fit the screen, so we take it a little bit this way. So what I've done right here is that I've just given it a name size right here. I'm gonna give this as a blank as a blank area, this as a blank area to create this kind of chart we want to actually create. So right now I'm going to give this one to be what, that'll be 50%. So which is just this. All I need to do is just to have this one copied down. So I'm going to actually select everything, and Ctrl+1 will help me to remove the extra decimal I have on it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to say 100%. So 100%, click on it. I'm going to take this equal, I'm going to actually add equal to and go to the front. I'm going to say minus what, this is the bad government, right? So go to bad government and actually do this exactly. You have this. So I'm going to say equal to again 100%, so 100% minus the internet, just like what we have right here. So don't worry, as soon as we are done, you're going to understand what we are doing right here. So we're trying to actually keep an empty space we're going to actually use to actually get our butterfly chart ready. So right now with what we have right here right now, I think we are really cool with it. So I'm going to actually have to give it a border all around. So now I have it selected just like this. I'm going to actually create my chart the way I really wanted it, without having to be worried about what pivot table is going to actually think about. So right now the kind of chart I want to create is this particular chart right here. So I'm gonna actually say okay to it, and now here we go. So I don't really need this particular chart, and I don't need this grid line right here. I'm going to remove all of them. So right now this is what I need, and this is what I've just gotten right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to see how I can actually make sure I switch around this to actually get to see what I really want. Alright, I'm going to actually right click on this and actually select data. So from select data, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually click on this particular switch row to column. So this is what I have. So right now let us look at what is going on right here. So if you look at what we have right here right now, is some kind of weird. So we want to get this particular one in this to the center, and we want to get every blank area towards to the edge, and all the data aspect of it to be in the side of it and all of that. So what we need to do for the first time is for we to actually locate this bad government right here and actually move it to the top level. So right now it's at the top level. So this internet needs to come down, but we don't want to go back that way. I'm gonna take this one to be in the middle. So right now this is exactly what I really wanted. Now it's exactly what we need to actually achieve. So we've just gotten it like this, so we cannot actually click and say okay to this. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on this and actually double click on it. So if I double click on it, it's going to actually give me this format axis. So what I'm going to do right now is for me to actually say, okay, right here I want it to be 0. So now this is going to be 2 point words. It's going to be 2.5. Sorry for that. It's going to be 2.5. So right now this is exactly what we need, and we have our chart almost ready. So right now the reason for 2.5 is that this summation of this, when you actually highlight this whole, should be 2.5 as well. So that is exactly what we are having right here. So 2.5% is everything right here, and we need to have this same 2.5, which is 250%, right? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to remove this one because I don't need it again. So I'm going to actually click on this. After clicking on this, I'm going to actually, the gap weight is on 150. I'm going to put the gap weight to 30. I think I'm cool now to 30. So right now we need to actually go to this format painter right here and open this down, then open this down as well. So right now I'm going to actually set this one. I'm going to say no fill. I'm going to set no border as well. I'm going to come right here, no fill, no border. So we are by and by we're actually taking this to the next level, just to the kind of chart we really want to create. I think this is almost what we wanted. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is for we to actually click right here and actually add our data label. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say add data label, and here we go, we have the data label right here, but this is not what we want. We don't want this 50%. We want to switch it to what? We want to switch this 50% to the region. So how I'm going to do that? I'm going to click on this data label right here and go to this particular aspect and actually hit on from cell. So before I do that, I'm going to actually take this away and bring this to this side so that I can see my region so fine. So this is exactly what it is. So I'm clicking back again, click right here and click on the label option. I'm going to say from cell. So now I have this dialog box pops up. So right now I'm going to select everything we have right here, and when I hit OK, look at what happens. Now we have it like this, but it looks some kind of weird because we don't want this 50% to be on it. So what are we going to do? We need to actually deactivate the value, and now we have this alone. Awesome, right? So the next thing is for me to actually click on this and actually right click and actually give it the data label, so it's going to show up in percentage. I'm going to do the same thing to this and actually do this. It's going to show up in the same percentage, just like what we have right here. Now we can do our comparison, but not really nice. Just what we have right here is not nice. Yes, for real. So what I'm going to do is for me to actually get off this blank this blank, just double click and make it a highlight alone. Just remove it, we don't need it. The name size right here, we're going to take it off. Then the bot government, the internet is on the blank one. I'm going to take it off right now. I think I'm cool with this. So because we've just gotten this right here, the next we're going to do is for we to click right here at this x-axis and actually have it removed as well. Now we are almost there, but not really there. So the next thing I'm going to do is for me to actually have it formatted just like what we have in the previous one. So how do we do that? So I'm going to go to the top level right here and actually click on insert, and from the insert I'm going to hit on this right here, and I'm going to go down to this flow chart and I'm going to pick this one right here. So picking that, I'm going to actually draw this. So make sure you get it to what you want. So right now that we've got to this particular shape, I'm going to actually say no line. So if I say no line, the next thing I'm going to do is for me to actually give it the kind of color I really feel like it's going to actually fit into what I really wanted. So how am I going to do that? So what I'm going to do right now is for me to actually go on a grid line. So if I go on a grid line right now, I need to actually make sure I gave it the kind of color that will fit in. So clicking on this one right here, I'm going to actually choose this particular color. I'm going to click on this right here and I'm going to choose this particular yellow color right here. I think I'm cool. So right now I need to actually give it a direction. So the direction I'm going to give to it is this particular direction, which is very awesome, right? So right now what we need to do is just to copy this one away from here. So and actually click on this, make sure you're highlighting everything, and Ctrl V will help you to paste. Awesome, right? So now this is what we've just gotten. Now the next thing I'm going to do right now is for you to click on this one. I'm going to actually bring it down to this level and actually click at the top right here and make sure I flip it to what I really want. So now we need to rotate this. Now we are going to use this rotation, which is this flip horizontal. I'm going to say OK to this. So right now what we need to do is for we to actually choose another color for this. So I'm going to actually use that particular stops. I'm going to actually choose this particular color. So if I have that color chosen, I'm going to actually choose another color again that's going to actually match to what I really wanted. So what about this? Awesome, right? But I'm going to choose something else that is going to be some kind of different. So I have this color, so I'm going to actually copy this away from here as well. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to actually have to paste this right here. Oh sorry, we've not really copied that. So click on this and actually Ctrl C to copy. So go back a bit and actually have Ctrl V right here. I think we have the kind of chart we really wanted. So what is left right now is this particular inner part of it, because we need to actually turn this to white. So I'm going to go to the fill and I'm going to say no fill. I'm going to say okay, now give me solid fill, and the solid fill should be in pure white. Exactly, this is what we've just heard right now. So I'm going to actually have to move this one to the top level. How am I going to do that? I'm going to click right here and click on this particular legend, and I'm going to take it to the top level. So what about this? I think awesome, right? If I look at this, I'm still seeing some kind of border. I'm going to see no border right here. So I'm going to have something like this. So right now let us try it on our dashboard and see how it's going to look. But before then, make sure when you actually take your cursor away, bring your cursor back and highlight everything, and actually go to what no fill and no border. Now we have every border being removed away from it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to Control X to actually cut it away from here and take it to my dashboard. Okay, this is the background area. I'm going to actually choose that, take that to be a dashboard. So I'm going to Ctrl V and have it pasted right here. And the next thing I'm going to do is for me to actually make sure it's sitting right. I'm going to Ctrl Z. So we need to actually click back on it, so we have it highlighted. So now we gotta move this gradually down to here. Now we've seen that we have this particular one with the border, so click on it and come down to this particular border level right here and see no border. Now it's not showing any longer. So what we need to do is just to make sure we give it some kind of, we resize this to what we really want. So if we look at it right now, it's a little bit weird, so we can't really see the text we have in it. So I'm going to click on this particular aspect and go to the top and give it a nice formatting. So I'm going to actually choose this particular format for it. So now I don't need to put it on bold, so I'm going to click on this, go click on it again. I'm going to go to the top level and actually have to actually choose this particular white color for it, and I'm going to make it bold. So now we're going to have the same thing for this particular one right here as well. So bold and a white color will be fine. Now we can see it nicely. If we want to actually crank it up a little bit, we can actually do that. This is very nice. So now we do the same thing to this. I'm going to leave it on that particular kind of black, but actually cranking it up a little bit will make it stand out. I'm going to keep it bold. So how about this? We've just gotten our first chart ready, and this is making our dashboard to be some kind of really awesome, right? So what about this particular dashboard we have right here that actually give us some insight about age group and their turnover? So how do we do that? We still need to trick some kind of a pivot table to actually help us to create a kind of chart we really want, because we have a column chart and a line chart at the same time to show us some kind of trend. So I'm going to go back to my data. Does it really make sense to go back to our data? I don't think so if it makes sense though. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go back right here and actually scroll down to this end and have this data right here copied. So if I have it copied, meaning I'm copying the whole pivot table, right? So if I copy the whole pivot table away from here, what happens? I can actually drop my pivot table, or okay, go this way. I can drop my pivot table right here. Ctrl V will help me to drop the whole pivot table. And what I'm going to do is to tweak it to what I really wanted. So I'm going to remove everything we have right here, and I'm going to remove the result away from here. Now I'm going to find the age group and bring the age group right here. Now this is what I have. So right now, do I really want this one on percentage? No, I don't want it on a percentage. I'm going to right click on it and go to what? I'm going to show value, and I'm going to say no calculations. So now I have it on a real number. So what I'm going to do right now is just to highlight everything, and actually Control 1 will help me to get to the format I really wanted. I'm going to choose number, and here no extra decimal, and give me a separator. I hit OK. This is exactly what I wanted. But if I really want this to be on a both column and line chart, just to make sure it stands out like what we have right here right now, just like what we have right here, I really need to actually trick pivot table to actually help me to do that. So I'm going to do the same thing I've done before. I'm just going to copy this from here and actually have it pasted right here. So right now I've just got this ready. So the next thing I'm going to do again is to copy this only one away from here and have it pasted right here again for the second time. So right now, if you look at it, it's giving me some kind of duplicate. So right now I'm going to click on this. If I should do that right now, it's going to affect. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to actually give it what? Give it a number of what? Number of survey. Okay, I'm going to say number of survey. So if I hit enter, this is what I have. So number of survey is what I have right here. If I click, I'm going to actually what I have right here right now, I should have done something different, but I'm so sorry to must have messed things up. I'm going to actually have to delete this away from here and recopy this. So what I had there was some kind of pivot table which wouldn't work. I'm going to actually copy this again. So this time around, instead of me to actually Ctrl V, I'm going to right click and actually choose to actually give it as a link. So right now we have it as a link, so it's not pivot table, it's linked to this particular one right here. So this is the first survey I actually have. So right now I'm going to actually copy again and get a second survey. So I'm going to actually have it pasted right here, and this is the same thing I'm going to be doing. So right now this is what it is. So right now we can create both our line chart and a column chart all at the same time. So what about choosing this insert and actually go to this particular recommended charts? Under the recommended chart, what I'm going to do is that I can't find what I'm looking for right here. I'm going to go to all charts and hit on this combo, and I'm going to say OK. So exactly this is what I really wanted. So I don't need this particular survey right here. I'm going to remove it. So now I don't need a title as well. I'm going to actually have the title removed as well. Then plus the grid line is going to go away, as I'm not going to be needing the grid line. So I'm going to actually make sure it shrink a little bit. And now I'm going to actually be taking this one to my dashboard to test it out to see if this will match what I really have right there. So click on this and it's going to bring this particular format chart area. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say no fill and I'm going to say no border. So we have this to be plain, right? So but I don't really want this kind of chart, but what am I going to do? I'm going to actually let this one go to my dashboard for now. So if it gets to my dashboard, I will definitely come back, go there and actually give it the kind of format I really wanted. So now clicking right here, I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to name this one to be dashboard. So now here I have a dashboard right now, and I have a sheet for analysis. So I'm going to actually call this particular sheet analysis. So I hit OK. So right now what I'm going to do is for me to actually get this away from here. By cutting that away from here, I'm going to go to my dashboard and I'm going to actually have to click right here and have it pasted. So this is what it is. I'm not going to have it immediately right where I actually clicked. I'm going to actually have to move it away from here down to this particular area, and now we need to actually give it some kind of pretty good formatting to make sure it stands out right here. So now this particular axis right here, I'm going to go to this I'm going to go to home and actually give it a color, but not really white color. This very some kind of white background, darker, 25%. So right now it's cool. So I'm going to give this one more lighter color and I'm going to give it a bold, and here we go. I love something like this. It's cool. So right now, this is not the kind of chart I really want to have right here. So what I'm going to do right now is for me to actually get my chart type right here. So I have this clicked, and I'm going to go to the top level and choose an insert. From insert, I'm going to go to the shape right here. So inside the shape, what I'm going to be looking for right now is something that I feel like is going to sit well with what I'm doing. So what am I looking for? I'm going to go to shape right here and click on this particular type of shape I really feel like to use. So now I love this particular round shape right here. I'm gonna actually have it down here, and now we need to change this particular shape to this particular type of style. So right now that I've gotten this right now, so what I'm going to do is for me to actually give it the kind of color I feel like it's gonna be cool with my chart. So I'm gonna actually go to the top right here and actually have this. This is the kind of color I feel like using. So what I'm gonna do is just for me to copy away from here and have it clicked, and actually Ctrl V will help me to paste this right here. But it's not really awesome because it's too tiny. So what I'm gonna do is for me to actually make sure I increase the gap width, and here we go, we have something like this. So what if I make it some kind of glow? How do you gonna see that? So you can actually choose the same color for the glow right here. So I have something like this. I'm going to have to reduce this. So what about this? I think it's really cool, right? So I'm gonna actually have to add some kind of shadow on it. So I'm gonna click right here and actually go and add my shadow right on this. So my shadow will be actually outstanding. Now I think I have something very nice. So what about if we apply the same shadow to this? It's actually going to be really awesome. So I'm going to actually go down to this particular aspect and apply the same shadow to this. But if you are trying to apply a shadow to this, you have to be careful. Don't take it to the inner level. So instead take it to the outer level, just like what we have right here right now. So now I can actually take the transparency to be 0, and if I come right here, I'll do the same thing and now choose a very nice one that's gonna actually make it stand out. So you make it on 0. So now this is what we have right here. So if you can see, based on analysis, if you want to explain this to your boss, you know what to do. You'll be like, the bad government is actually taking 15.5% in the West, while we have 20.9% of the internet of people who actually are of the opinion that the internet is actually the cause of the increment of crime in our society. And we can have 35. We can now see that we have 35.5% in the South, while 31.3% is of the opinion that the internet is actually the cause of the increment of crime as well in this particular area. So what about this? This is very nice, right? So the next thing we're going to do right now is that we're going to actually be creating this particular KPIs we have right here to actually help us see how many numbers of the males are of the opinion that the bad government or the internet is actually the cause of the increment of crime in our society. So this is exactly what we're going to do. Let us see this finished chart right here. So you can see what we have right here is very awesome. So we are almost done with it. Let us see how we can achieve this right now. So I'm going to go back to this particular chart we've just created, and now bringing it back right here right now. So we hit back to this analysis sheet, and here we go. We're going to copy this away from here. We recycle through our pivot table, not to create this pivot table over and over again. Don't worry, I have it nice, well arranged for you. If you download it, you're going to enjoy what I have there for you guys. So right now what I'm going to do is for me to remove this away from here, and I'm going to actually have to remove this away from here as well. So what I'm going to be having right now is just for me to actually put my gender right here. I'm going to put my gender, and if I have my gender right there, I'm going to actually have the count of this gender. This is exactly what it is. So now we can see the numbers of gender we have right here that are of the opinion of whatever, or those the participant of the gender we have right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is for me to actually copy this away from here and create something next. Again, that is going to be some kind of surprise. And why are you doing this? But don't worry, I'm going to actually tell you why I did that. So now I'm going to actually take this away. I'm going to take this away. So right now we have the names of the participants, which is the people who actually participated in the survey. So I'm going to actually draw their name down right here. So right now, every region, well, I want to know in every region how many people actually participated. That is what I want to know. That is what we should actually calculate right now. So it's actually built in. So let it put, and actually we're going to have it nice. Okay, let's see the reason why we have this here right now. So now this is actually very unique because we have a unique ID with unique name right here. So here are the participants of this particular survey right here, the name of people who actually participated in our survey. So right now what we need to do, we want to actually give a count of how many are there. So what we need to do is for we to use count A, and I'm going to actually tell you the reason why we are using count A to actually get this done. So all we need to do is just to highlight this right here, or you can actually come right here and highlight this particular one, and Control and Shift will help you to actually take it down. So what I'm going to do is for me to actually hit on OK. So now this is what it is. So I have this numbers of people who are who particularly participated, but right now we need to actually take this away from it. So what we need to do right now, I'm going to actually double click on this and actually come down to the last one and say -1 from it. So -1 means this particular header is not going to be included if already is included, which it is included. So I'm going to actually right click on this. Now I'm going to click on this and go to the top and want to have this particular grand total at the column level right here. Exactly, I need it as well. So this is one of these thing we need to actually take into consideration. So right now we need to actually hit our dashboard and actually copy this particular one right here. I'm gonna actually duplicate this to actually have it down. So now we are almost to okay, fine. So I'm gonna click at the top and show I'm gonna actually show my formula bar. So having my formula bar shown, I'm gonna actually say equal to this. So what I'm gonna get right now is the total number of the male participants. Go to analysis and actually click on male. Now hit enter. Now here are the numbers of the males, so make it some kind of smaller. So I'm gonna actually say duplicate right here, and I'm gonna actually bring it down. And the next thing I'm gonna do right now is for the female. So go get the number of the female participant right here. So for the female, I'm gonna hit this, and here is not the female, so we're gonna change this to the female area. So right now, the next we're gonna be having right now is going to be the total numbers of what. So it's going to be the total numbers of people who actually participated, like the whole number, both male and female. So we need to actually have that. So we're going to go and get it. This is what it is. So now I'm going to hit OK. So right now we need to see the total number of city covered right here, right? So now this is where it is. So now if we look at right here, what we have is, I'm going to click on this. I'm gonna go back right here, and I made a mistake. I shouldn't have used participant right here. What I needed to use is actually the city. So it's exactly what I need to use. So I'm gonna say okay. So now is the way. So I'm gonna actually bring the city now to this particular row level right here, because this is what I wanted to have analyzed right now. So I can actually go and actually do my count A again. Please pardon me for that. So we're gonna say count A, and this count A this time around I'm gonna actually say this. You can do that. So -1, and if I hit enter, it give me this number 281 right here. So now what I'm gonna do is for me to just go back to my dashboard and actually make sure I have this duplicated to actually get this done. I'm gonna duplicate this, and actually bring this one right here as well. And what I'm gonna do is for me to actually go pick it up away from here, and I hit enter. So this is what I have. So we need to actually give it some kind of formatting that is gonna actually make it some kind of stand out. So I'm gonna go bold, and I'm gonna actually choose a particular white color. So now I have to crank it up, so I have something nice like this. So you can now bring it to this particular end. So right now what I need to do is to actually go and use my format painter to actually give it to others. So now I can now make this. So if you look at what we have right here right now, if we have a background change, everything is going to still go aligned with the background we have. Can you see that? So we have our chart to go very nicely with the background we have right now. This is how beautiful this could be. So in the next tutorial, we're going to actually be taking care of this particular chart we have right here, and this kind of chart we really have right here. So we don't want to actually put everything into tutorial so that we shouldn't actually confuse you on what it is that we are doing. So right now I want to make it short and actually lean back on this particular one right here. So now this chart is very dynamic, and this particular chart is going to be the next one. Before I actually talk about this dynamic slicer that we have hidden right here that is going to be very nice for you to know how to create. Now, thank you very much for watching. If you've not been a subscriber on my YouTube channel, all you need to do is for you to go ahead and actually hit the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, and actually take a look at every single time I upload what the content is like and how you can actually implement the same thing to your own personal project. Thanks for watching. So click on the next video to start watching and start learning ASAP.